but now. Hello, and welcome to the first Breakdown Culture podcast. You are hearing the voice of me, Rob Smith, and Danny Dreyer.
Hello.
Luke Fisher.
Hello.
And James Lees.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello, everyone.
Hello. Hello. Again.
So we've been doing this for a little while under a different name, but now we are fully going with the Breakdown Culture podcast. You can find us everywhere: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and SoundCloud. Basically, we get together once a week to discuss not all things, most things metal and rock.
Some things metal and rock.
Yeah. Mostly metal and rock.
Yeah.
Mostly. We generally go over the week's news.
New listens.
Yeah, new listens, new albums, album reviews, singles, gigs, and things like that. And then we normally go on to a topic or a debate. And we discuss all kinds of topics within the genre of metal. Some serious, some not so serious. Yeah, and we also have the thing we like to call the game, where we try and broaden our horizons by discovering a new band in the subgenre of metal. Hopefully, people listening will be able to give us some suggestions on genres to pick.
Yeah, we're
have a look.
running a bit low on the old genres.
Yeah, so if you could...
We've done a lot.
we have done a lot. If anyone is listening to this and has got some suggestions, throw them our way.
We want the obscure now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what have we done? We've done power metal,
Hardcore,
Black metal.
black metal,
yeah. Industrial.
industrial. Yeah,
That was a good
yeah.
one.
Give us your suggestions and we'll look through them. And we also pick an album each week in our little feature called All Killer No Filler. We pick an album between us and we discuss it. And what was I saying? Fucking.
All killer, no filler.
All Killer No Filler. Yeah. Once a week we pick an album. We each consider an All Killer No Filler and discuss it. And we'll
Now, by all killer, no filler, we mean an album where there's not a single track
Yeah.
that we would skip.
Not some point one's All Killer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't just talk about the album every week.
It's a bloody good album.
Yeah, I'm sure it will come up at some point. So yeah, that's our general structure.
Yeah, we've sort of formed it into this nice little thing that works quite well each week. But the last few have been quite long, so we've been covering
Download Festival.
Yeah, but this week we're going to stay on topic with festivals, and we're going to look at rock and metal in more commercial sort of festivals like Glastonbury and Reading and things like that, and how it's accepted and what the reaction is. We've also got some news. What have we got in news, Rob?
News, we've got Chimaira's reunion, or their one-off reunion. We've also got Ed Miller Band.
That guy.
And, Ed Miller Band. Otep being crazy.
Yeah.
Again. Oh yeah, we're getting to that later. The Rock AM Ring, that terror scare, and I got some more information on that. Nickelback's new album, it's released and their sales with their new release for the news. New listens. We're going to talk about Nickelback album, unfortunately. Sorry everyone. But then we'll quickly go on to Municipal Waste. A little bit on Me and That Man.
That is the name of a band. It's not just we're going to talk about Rob Smith.
Yeah, just just the life of Rob and his man.
And our topic is heavy metal's place at mainstream festivals. Like you said, over the Glastonbury weekend, saw Napalm Death there and stuff. And our game this week, which we picked, is doom metal.
I feel like everything is doomed after listening to that.
Yeah,
to be perfectly honest.
Quite an appropriate time to be picking this genre as well.
Yeah. It
I
made
quite
me
like
hate my life and all aspects.
Well, that's
of
what
it.
it's meant to do. It's doomy.
Impending doom, pretty much. Yeah.
I don't even feel like the doom is impending anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like it's encroached on my life and my personal space.
I don't know what you've attracted by talking about Me and That Man, but on the live stream, Dan says, "I'm here for the balls."
Nice.
So thanks for that. Thanks for that contribution, Dan. There might be balls. I
Right,
can't
lads,
confirm
balls out.
or deny.
Yeah, and I've got an all killer for you guys. That's what we're talking about. Oh yeah, and Digital Escape Plan.
Yeah.
We'll go over that. That was
Oh,
Danny's.
Leesky's
pick
voice
last
just went
week.
up. It didn't go down. It was like a yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
I'm interested.
so last week, Danny, you picked
Yeah.
Fireworks by Digital Escape Plan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll talk
Mental
about
album.
Yeah.
Fucking mental. Right then.
that. Yeah,
News.
Let's do it.
Chimaira and their reunion, their one-off. It is just one.
It is
gig.
just a one-off
One
show
show.
with their original lineup.
In the hometown, Columbus,
Right.
Ohio.
I am hoping it sparks something bigger, because I think being at that show would be a lot of fun. Not just for the fans there. I think the band are going to really enjoy it as well. I mean, for them to decide to do this in the first place after, just drawing out a career that just seemed to have slumped and couldn't get anywhere, I think this could spark something. I mean, they were never better than they were, really, than early on.
Have they stated their reason?
No,
Have they given a reason?
no,
Just-
at least I've not seen one.
I was thinking it would be for Andos's GoFundMe,
Well, this is the thing I was
but
wondering.
it's not. He's actually playing.
Yeah. He's playing, which is what I was wondering, because that bit of news we had a few weeks back about his illness is the GoFundMe page. He's obviously feeling up to it.
Yeah. Well, at least well enough to
Like, to do
play.
one show.
Yeah. So yeah, hopefully it sparks more Chimaira.
I hope so. I mean,
I hope so.
they were really good when we saw them in Norwich.
They've always been good live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I'm a little bit out of the loop on Chimaira. I mean, I definitely enjoyed them in their early days. But when and why did they split up?
Split up a few years back, and they had so many lineup changes that I think the only original member left was Mark Hunter.
Yeah.
Um,
He's a vocalist, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And he basically ended up with Chimaira fans playing in the band.
Right.
That's what it essentially came down to.
It was Mark and Friends in the end.
Yeah.
Right.
It just
essentially.
it wasn't bad, but
Oh, they were
when
good.
when you've released albums like The Impossibility of Reason and like their self-titled one,
Even Resurrection.
yeah, you're really setting yourself up for a career that should have gone somewhere. Especially at that time, you look at the other bands that were getting huge around that time. They just seemed to sort of plateau.
Yeah.
They never really recovered from that.
Yeah. So, and Andols, we spoke about this quite a while back, didn't we?
Yeah.
He was really quite unwell, or has been for a long time. So, is there any update on that at all?
Well, no, this is what we were wondering. No, we couldn't find anything.
Yeah, because I originally thought it was going to be for his GoFundMe, but
Yeah, he could well be. I mean, he could be doing this one-off show to help fund that. I mean, for all we know, you might not be feeling particularly up to it, but we don't know. We don't know. I'd like to see it spawn something bigger. I was saying to these guys earlier that I saw on Twitter somebody had tweeted Mark Hunter and said, "Come back to the UK," and he replied saying, "Yeah, and then perhaps we will have to cancel for a fourth time in a row."
They had a bad habit of cancelling shows.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, hopefully it does spawn something. I'd love to see them back.
I really would. I
That
love
would be really
Chimaira.
cool.
Yeah. Okay, fingers crossed. I think we're all fan of that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay. We'll talk about Otep then. Otep has just kicked her support band off of a tour, well, a world tour,
Yeah.
on their like 50 plus show.
She has a habit of just being an arsehole.
Yeah, but you say that, but I'm sure last time she kicked Terror off because she claimed that one of them sexually assaulted her.
Yeah, I'm not saying she's being an arsehole about that, but she has a habit of being a bit of an arsehole.
Oh, most probably.
And the first time I saw this report, I can't remember where it was now, but whoever was reporting on it has said, oh, she's at it again, basically. Do you know what the reason is that they've...
Something to do with the support band. Well, the part I read was they were trying to buy drugs off some of their staff at the venue, and Otep didn't like it. No.
I don't know. I mean, that's. Like, I've not read any concrete reason as to why. That could well be it, but I mean that seems a bit drastic.
It was
partway through a world
with,
tour,
buying drugs off the staff.
I don't know. It's just it just seems really drastic. Partway through a world tour to go right, fuck off. Off you go.
That does seem a bit drastic. If it doesn't implicate Otep.
I mean,
Like
Otep aren't really. I don't really seem big enough to be doing a world tour anyway, to be honest.
Been around for a while, yeah, but not big enough, surely.
No way. I mean, I don't think I've actually ever seen them live, to be honest. I think they played Download once, from what I remember.
I don't know.
I don't know. You're not an Otep fan?
No.
Well informed here, aren't we?
Yeah,
I don't know too much about them either, but
I know some of their stuff is good.
Yeah.
Some of it is
They're-
odd.
are you informed?
No, it's very. I don't know. Like, I don't know how to explain it.
Is it preachy?
You try to be diplomatic.
I was,
about it, weren't you?
but no, she's just been a bitch.
Right, I'm going to do some homework and find out. I mean, there's many different ways that you can be a bitch, but no one's given any specific information here.
Just give their newer stuff a listen.
We are live, I guess, aren't we?
Yeah.
All right, but one thing we do know about is this whole Napalm Death thing. Then, with Ed Miliband on.
Now this is
Radio
a
2.
fucking funny topic.
Yeah.
This will never get old for me.
So Ed Miliband, apparently what they're doing on I wasn't really aware of this, but on Radio 2 they have sort of like ex-political like party leaders come in and present the show for a week.
Oh, okay.
And it was Ed Miliband's turn last week, and he seems to have become a bit of a caricature. I mean, I thought he already looks like Wallace and Gromit anyway.
He
to be
does.
honest. So like,
It looks like it's been moulded.
yeah. I'm sure there probably is a side-by-side comparison that we can put up on the screen here, but.
Fishes straight on his face.
Yeah. So I don't know how this interview came about, but he ended up interviewing Mark Greenway from I think that's his
Barney.
name. Barney,
Yeah.
He's known as Barney, yeah, the singer from
Napalm
Death. Sorry, I'm a bit slow today. But yeah, and you found the there you go, there it is. Yeah.
Sorry, I've just
Perfect.
pulled up a side-by-side picture of Wallace.
From Wallace and Gromit.
Do you have the audio about it?
I do. Right, I certainly do.
For those of you who have been living in a cave and haven't heard it.
So Barney was teaching Ed how to do a metal scream, and he with the shortest song that they've got called "You Suffer," which is like 2 seconds long. So
Oh, really? That's
what it was. I thought it was a weird scream. It was more of just like a grunt, but that's actually the whole song right there.
You suffer.
Right, you want to hear it?
Come on.
Come on.
Big noise.
Yeah.
Go on. Do you want to just?
Is that right?
Right. That wasn't me.
And that
for
was
the
very
listeners.
easy for me.
That was him. Just do it again, and then I'm going to try.
Is that right?
Let me have a go.
All right. No, you need more throats.
I need more throat.
More
do I?
He definitely needs more throat.
Do you need more throat? Mate?
He has.
It sounds like he's fallen off or something.
It's like he's really scared as he's going into it. Like he's about to go full into it and then like just backs away. So I don't like. But he has fully cemented himself in internet like meme history now.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's like,
Yeah, if he ever wanted to. That's so. Apparently, the streaming of Napalm Death has gone up to 228% since this,
Done
and it's
wonders
become,
for Napalm Death.
which is really bloody good and appropriate just before their performance at Glastonbury the week after.
I think that
which
must have been tied in with the appearance on radio, right? Like Radio 2.
feels a little
having-
strategic, doesn't it? Yeah, and then I was listening to. Well, I wasn't like choosing to, but we had Radio 6 on at work, and they started playing Napalm Death.
Radio 6.
I didn't
Yeah.
know. Yeah. That was our reaction.
Yeah,
Didn't know that.
Radio 666.
I thought it only went up to 4.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Radio 6.
Really?
Who knew?
Who knew?
So also apparently, the article that I looked at, apparently Ed Miliband I mean, I'm gonna guess that this is tongue in cheek and he's being sarcastic, but
Right.
Ed Miliband was claiming that he was actually a massive fan of them and he's been a groupie for a while.
Mm.
So I don't know whether I was just being a bit fucking literal there.
Who knows?
He might be. I mean, there are people out there that love metal.
I
that
do
you
love the
wouldn't
idea.
expect.
I was at a meal on Friday and I'm not sure who it was. It might have been. Oh no, I think one of you guys sent me in the group chat. You said something about the pit being massive at Glastonbury for Ed Miliband because of Ed Miliband and the whole promotion. And I read it wrong that Ed Miliband was actually in the pit. And I started freaking out. And then I read it again properly. But
Can you imagine him in a mosh pit?
yeah.
Was that was live, weren't it?
That was live. That was on the radio.
Wow.
Do you think people would beat the shit out of him? If we
Nah.
saw him in a pit.
No,
Nah.
people would love it.
Yeah. I just thought the idea of, during the sort of failed New Labour campaign a couple of years back, he'd get back after the long day's work.
One just blast out some napalm.
Hey, be quiet! Just fucking windmilling.
Well,
Anyway, that was
Good on him, I guess. Yeah, done wonders for
Ed,
Nickelback.
if you are out there, you wanna come on the podcast sometime, talk death metal.
Yeah.
The offer's there.
Ed Miliband, if you want to come to school and on metal, that'd be great. Maybe we can also discuss where New Labour went wrong. Anyway, right, let's get on to Nickelback and their album sales.
And where they went wrong.
Yeah.
They wrote music.
We are going to do a bit of a double. Oh, wait, should we do this back to back?
Oh, yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Fine.
We'll do it live.
Alright, brace yourselves, people.
All right. Nickelback. Well, their album sales have severely dropped since the drama that we discussed last week of
Them releasing an album.
no, just talking shit about Corey Taylor before. So I didn't realise how many albums.
Can I just say on that, sorry, have you seen what Corey Taylor has said about it?
Yeah, I have. Let's start off with that.
It's ridiculous. I don't know how long people are going to keep asking him about it because it's not news. It's not news at all. But he has said that Chad is to rock as KFC is to chicken.
Right. I was expecting, because I saw the interview. I think I might have sent it to you guys where, Corey Taylor was obviously going to respond to these Nickelback-like comments that we talked about
course he was.
last week, and he was like, he said something along the lines of, "I've been thinking about how to address this, but I don't really need to because Chad, you are a much hated man. Look at the comments on the internet; they speak for themselves. So I don't need to say anything." I was like, perfect. They just leave it at that. And then he calls him a foot. He calls him a what? He says he looks like a foot. He says, I've been voted sexiest frontman with or without a mask, and you've been voted ugliest frontman
Without a mask.
without a mask, and you look like a foot. So now it's gone from being like quite a sit down, shut the fuck up situation to like a sort of thing.
So they're biting at each other now.
But
So
I think
they're
it's
back.
hilarious, and I'm all for it. Personally, so.
God damn it! Why couldn't they have this out before our our metal beef episode?
Yeah. It's just funny.
It is fun.
But anyway, so I've got the figures here. Their first album, 200,000 sales. Second album,
Is that with How You Remind Me?
I think that was the second one. All the Right Reasons, it was called.
Yeah.
325,000. Dark Horse, 326,000. Here and Now, 227,000. The last one, No Fixed Address, dropped down to 80,000. Obviously, we're now talking about streaming and record sales and things as well. And now this new one, after this bad publicity, I'm going to gather, Feed the Machine is down to 47,000 the first week.
Fuck.
So that's a massive decline.
Quite drastic.
Yeah. How much do you think that is affected by bad press and what's been said in the last week?
I don't. I think people have lost interest in them releasing new music.
It seemed like when he was quiet, their sales were on a plateau, but now he's perked up a bit. They've gone down. Maybe.
I just think people have lost interest in hearing new music from them. I think they still sell out shows.
Yeah.
And I think people go there to hear the songs that they know.
Yeah.
I don't think they necessarily want anything new from them, because, quite frankly, why would you?
Bear in mind, still 47,000 records in the first week. It's
Oh
still
yeah,
a top 10 album anyway.
it's
so-
not a small number at all.
As I said last week, you can be quiet because your album's in the charts, so you don't need to be doing all this extra bullshit.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
I did see though how you remind me he's on like 140 odd million streams.
That disgusts.
Yeah.
Never made it as a wife man. Oh,
It's a huge song.
Why?
I don't know.
Oh, Chad. I love it. We didn't talk about the band. We just talk about Chad and his plastic face.
You got the David Coulthard reference?
Who?
Like the square chin.
Oh yeah, he has. Yeah. Well, I didn't get that reference other than the fact that it is very square.
Yeah, very square.
I bet
It's like
square.
like chiseled, but not like a normal jawline.
Oh,
like
really?
it's just kind of flat at the bottom.
Has he had plastic surgery?
Yeah.
Of course he has.
A
No
lot.
one's got a chin that looks like that
Oh.
normally.
Well, did Bruce Forsyth have plastic surgery? No one has a chin that's like that normally. You look like a fucking a Wii character.
Alright.
Oh shit.
Right, a little bit more.
I was just talking about making it personal.
And
right,
now we're
on
doing
with
this.
it.
A little
Chin.
bit more serious is the Rock am Ring terror alert, where they all got evacuated.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's come to light that it wasn't a spelling error.
I didn't realise that they put it down to a spelling error.
well, no,
first.
first it was terrorism, then it was a spelling error.
Right.
But wait,
and then-
can you explain that for people
Yeah,
listening?
yeah, yeah.
Because that
So-
makes no sense off the cuff.
Right, yeah. The spelling error being that they thought somebody had mistakenly got backstage because
okay.
their name didn't match what it was on the guest
Oh.
list.
And they just spelled
And
it.
hence they thought he was someone there to cause harm or
Oh, okay.
trouble. But then it turns out that wasn't the case, and it was actually
Yeah, it was
a
three
concrete-
guys, wasn't it? Two guys had wristbands, one didn't, and their names were very similar to names that were on the list. So it wasn't a spelling error, it was just that they had very similar names. They'd used that to get backstage, basically.
That seems like it's pretty well thought out. Pretty. Yeah,
Yeah,
the names
quite-
from like Live Nation that worked there or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is
quite coincidental.
Yeah.
really fucking dark.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, got foiled.
luckily,
Luckily, got kicked out.
yeah, nobody was harmed, and
Festival went on.
yeah, and so far so good for rest of festival season this
Yeah.
summer. I mean, obviously there's more festivals coming up. I honestly expected to see something at Glastonbury, whether it was just a scare or something.
Well, you did expect it.
I fully expected to. I
Yeah.
fully expected to see an incident of some kind at every major festival in Europe this year.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the effects that terrorism has, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's good. I must point out as well. I think it was a few podcasts. This was on our download preview, the week before we went off to download.
Yeah.
We finished this podcast. Fisher pulls up his phone, or it might have been you, Lacey, I'm not sure. And the first thing that you saw was a post from Inflames saying, "We're all safe. Sorry to all of those that have had to be evacuated." And that was when we found out. We didn't really talk about it then because we were then on the buzz for download, and we didn't really know what the story was, other than it was a scare and they evacuated 80,000 people, which is mental. So when I was queuing up for download, I was thinking, God, this is taking ages to get in. Can you imagine having to like get all the people out and back in? Like what the
Yeah.
spirit must have been like that.
It
But,
definitely took us longer to get in.
yeah.
Like they were being more thorough.
Mm.
They weren't checking every bag, but I'd
I
never.
definitely didn't mind it. Like, I would
No.
rather they were thorough than.
I heard casual comments about it on the way in on the Friday. People saying, "Yeah, I don't mind it." There was like the sniffer dogs up and down the queue. There was like
Yeah.
bomb squads, all sorts of
There
shit.
were heavily armed police, which I've
Yeah.
never seen in download before. You know, it's going to happen. Heightened security
Yeah,
when the terror threat in the country's like on
critical.
critical.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But the end of that story is that they've put it down to the spelling error, as we said, and then they've sort of announced that it was actually linked to terrorism. So the guys that were there were linked to Islamic State and all that sort of stuff. So
Yeah,
I'm
it was
guessing
a
they've been dealt
genuine threat.
with. Yeah.
yeah.
So good on them for sussing that out. That's really good. I'm bloody glad because that, you know, if going to a festival that size, that would have been pretty catastrophic.
Yeah, that's terror, not spelling error.
Spelling terror. Well, moving on.
In Flames.
Speaking of Inflames, yeah.
Jesus.
Move on.
In Flames have brought out a gin. Does anybody like gin? Do we like gin?
I like a bit of gin.
Gin
yeah.
gets me fucked up.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sure they did a wine.
They did a whiskey.
And a whiskey. Oh, and a whiskey.
They did a whiskey. I don't think they've done a wine, but
Oh.
they definitely did a whiskey, which I wanted.
Right. Anyway, so Inflames have announced a gin which is called. What's it called? Like number 13 gin or something like that.
I'd get something if I could afford it.
How
How
much
much-
is it? Yeah.
It's going to be quite expensive. I remember
I think there's only 1,000 bottles, isn't there?
Yeah,
Fuck.
yeah. It is
No.
limited.
You
You wouldn't want to drink
I
it,
got
no?
I got 23,000 here.
Oh.
I haven't got 23,000.
So you can fucking share that.
That's what I read. That's quite a random number, but 23,000 bottles.
Okay.
That's still not a lot, really.
Yeah.
Not like for alcohol.
Mm. By your standards.
Wow. I mean, I've never really bought like any like band produced alcohol. I mean, I've tried Trooper by Iron Maiden. That's really
I've
nice.
never tried any.
It's really nice.
We got Motorhead.
Motorhead had
a red wine.
had a red wine.
I bought that as a gift for somebody for their birthday.
Was it diesel?
No, it was all right.
Was it?
Yeah.
Why red wine for Motorhead? I thought there'd be whiskey.
Yeah, I would have thought so, but you know they had their red wine.
Okay.
Slayer have got a wine.
Have they?
Yeah.
You can only buy it in Marbella. What's it called? Like Rain and Blood or something?
If it's not, I'm going to be really
Yeah.
So why have Inflames done this then? What's what's the PR behind it?
They're all really into their alcohols.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
Like brewing.
Anders is
Anders, I think the whiskey was his idea. This gin, the flavouring in it is his own recipe.
Mhm.
Daniel, who was their drummer, left the band to open his own microbrewery because he's really into his beers.
That's strange, isn't it?
Yeah, and Peter, their old bassist, left to join him in that because they are all really into like their craft beers and
they lost the guitarist because he was a fucking alcoholic.
you can see why.
It's like ironic.
But yeah, I'd love to try some.
Mm.
Be a nice little collectible piece.
I sort of wonder why it's done as a band thing. Like, I mean, Iron Maiden, you kind of get it because they're just absolutely insane, like massive. sort
And they're
of
an
thing, but-
easily marketable.
Yeah. I was surprised. It sounds like something that you'd usually get as like a business side venture from a frontman or something. But to do it under the band name, almost kind of feels like they. I saw the top comments, and obviously it's a bit dangerous looking through the comments, and it's like, oh, I'm sure these bottles will sell out very quickly. and it's just kind of like saying that you're cashing in sort of thing. I mean, I see. I always make this comparison, but rappers do this all the time. Look at like Diddy. Look at. Like I think Ludacris has got his Conjure Cognac, and Drake's got his Virginia Black and things like that, and they're all like, it's more than the music, it becomes about cashing in on your brand's name, which is quite smart really as a business move, but it just feels a bit odd coming from Inflames.
in like Sweden, Finland, places like that, they are phenomenally huge.
Yeah.
Like they're on a completely different level
Yeah.
over there than they are to here.
Yeah.
They are in Sweden. They are easily marketable. If you watch their live DVD, Sounds from the Heart of Gothenburg, they easily sold out a massive arena, didn't they? I mean, you've both seen it. It's ridiculous. Like the size of the crowd is disgusting.
Yeah, but I mean, metal
That's
and
disgusting.
metal like in Scandinavia
It's
is more the mainstream anyway. I think a lot of times journalists have gone over. They've been in taxis and stuff at rush hour, and on the radio is just metal music.
Yeah.
Like it's
So it's probably quite widely available over there then.
Yeah, it's very different to over here. But like I said, them as a band, they're going to be able to market that shit no problem over there.
Oh, fair enough. Maybe not so much over here. But...
All right.
Cool.
Should we go on to the new listens then?
Yeah. All right. What do we want to tackle first then?
That's Nickelback. Get
I want
out of
to
the
tackle
way.
Nickelback.
Feed the Machine.
Yeah. So, did we all listen to Feed the Machine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ish.
Ish. Well, that's probably enough.
Well, I would like to ask the question: who had heard the first Untitled track before going into this album?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I heard it when they released it as a single. I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Still feel that way about it?
I actually don't hate it as a song. I think it's probably the best song on there.
Right.
And it just steadily goes downhill from there.
Yep. Gonna echo their sentiments. Well, I'll let you take this one first then.
I mean, I didn't really know what to expect. I'm not a Nickelback fan, never have been. But having heard that first track, I thought, okay, well, I'll approach it with an open mind. All you guys had listened to it before me, and you weren't impressed. So I thought, okay, we'll see where this goes. First track, okay, yeah, still enjoyed it. Second track, absolute dog shit.
A coin for the ferryman.
It was shit song after shit song. The ballads in it. There was one other song on there I quite liked. It was towards the end of the album. I can't remember what it's called.
Is it the Betrayal?
Yeah.
Act 3.
Yes, it
yeah,
is.
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing.
That was a half decent song.
Yeah.
The rest of them, it's just not. It's not good. The lyrical content is, if you can call it that, just
Humpty Dumpty, do your thing. Daddy's gonna buy you a diamond ring.
Fuck off, Chad.
So he's resorted to ripping off nursery rhymes.
Yeah, I think
Pretty
that's
much.
a coin for the ferryman. Yeah.
I was saying earlier that I think I've sussed out what their formula is for being successful. They just write really generic radio rock and put in such simple lyrics that it's easy for people to remember. That's the only reason they're as big as they are.
Yeah.
They're not particularly good. They're not challenging in any way. They're just mind numbing.
I sort of disagree. I think they're quite. I think as a band, like the music, it's not terrible.
You
Like,
can't deny they got some good riffs and the drums sound good on.
the drums
on it.
do sound fucking good, and the production is always good.
Yeah. It is literally just drowned by them shit lyrics.
And the
The
singing.
whole- yeah,
And
it's
the
just-
fact that everything sounds exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's just like so herped up.
Yeah, it is. It's just fucking. It's just
all the
paint
way
by
through.
numbers. It's just paint by numbers radio rock.
Yeah, it's,
all
it
it
is like
is.
midlife crisis dad rock.
It is. That is exactly what it is.
Dynamite.
I'm a man. I can drink beer and I can
Listen
hold
to
my own in a
Nickelback.
bar fight. Yeah.
Yeah, nice one, Dad. You
saying
listen
that
to
into a
Nickelback.
mirror.
Yeah. Try to hide his beer belly.
You got the coin for the ferryman.
Shut up. Now, Rob Smith, as a Nickelback fan, how did you find it?
Now, you say Nickelback fan.
Well, you're
Yes, I do.
out of all of us.
You have.
You're the
little closet.
token.
Now, the last Nickelback album I listened to was All the Right Reasons, which was okay. But then
And what were those reasons?
the drums?
Yeah. All right.
The drums are awesome on that album, the whole way through it. Apart from Photograph. Yeah, that's shit. Yeah, that was the last album I listened to, but like this is just, it makes you sick, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's
bad.
shit.
Literally, like
It's
Well,
really
just
bad.
listen
How's
to the
it
lyrics.
go? Engine number 9.
Oh god, yeah.
What's that one?
He just plays off these like really well-known like
Redfish,
that's
Bluefish.
That's off.
yeah. Oh, it's just cringe. I don't know. This the second single they put out, "Song on Fire," was like it started off like pretty ballsy, like massive sounding, and
Yeah.
it just gets
Yeah,
into
yeah.
this like chorus, and it's just like,
It's a good groove.
yeah, I could set this song on fire. It's, oh no, just
Yeah.
set the whole fucking album on fire, please.
The ballads are super cheese, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of ballads anyway, to be honest with you. But But yeah, I actually might go back and check out that the Betrayal Act 3 song again, because when they get aggressive like that on that first track as well, it's actually quite enjoyable.
After the rest of that album, like between first track and that one, I just lost all interest. So when that came, I actually forgot I was listening to it, and I can't remember what point I was
your
just
head
like,
started
I was
going.
like, oh, hang on. I was like, that it's a bit heavier than the rest of the album, and it turns out they can actually do it quite well. It's like Nickelback for adults.
Nickelback After Hours.
Yeah, it's the only way I can describe it. Like,
So now we've got Nickelback Light and Nickelback After Hours. Like, I don't know. I've never listened to a whole Nickelback album before, and this is why.
yeah, I can't even
It's
say I'm
bad.
disappointed because it's just as awful as I expected it to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose in that respect I wasn't disappointed. It's exactly what I thought it was going to be.
So they're consistent.
They're
Yeah, give 'em
consistently
that.
dog shit.
Well done, Nickelback.
Yeah. Moving on because
Alright.
fuck them.
Municipal Waste.
Yes.
How do we get on that?
Slime.
Slime and Punishment.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Oh, I do
Well,
like
it's-
municipal waste.
I
You do
do
like
like.
I do.
I like their song titles.
Yeah, I do like a fresh.
Speaking of
song
which, I
title.
think it's the third track. Believe it's called Dingy Situations. Now, I think that's the word. Is it dingy? Anyway,
I think so.
that perfectly describes how I feel when I'm listening to this album. Like, it reminds me of all. I can smell the sweat of those shitty clubs and those bars. Like, I feel like I'm on the floor of a mosh pit at the Owl Sanctuary sort of thing. Like, and it's just disgusting. Like, or Cubes in Lincoln where I used to go out, and it's just that, like, furiously breakneck fucking thrash with like Pennywise sort of punk rock mixed with Kill 'Em All Metallica riffs.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yes,
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
great.
yeah. It's party, isn't it?
Yeah, you know what you're
Party-
getting,
party
and it's
thrash. Yeah.
good.
Municipal waste are always a party.
It's a short album, though.
Yeah, it's short hour. It's less than 30 minutes long.
Is it?
Yeah.
So crazy.
It's definitely a quick in and out with like pure thrash that doesn't sound like it's from the early 80s.
It's a 2-pump chump. Enjoy the Night was really good. I really like that song. The bass tone on this album as well. It just rows, like it's nasty as fuck. I don't know if you noticed it, but it can only be listened to loud. The production, like, for their music is always quite raw, but it's quite big on this album. But I felt like the only gripe I had was that the vocals felt like they were recorded sort of elsewhere, if you know what I mean. Like, it felt like the vocals were sort of demo quality, whereas the rest of the album was like really in your
I thought
face.
it was like quite disconnected.
Yeah, but for a band of that ilk, I'm not. That's really fucking being nitpicky. Who gives a shit? So, do you know what I mean?
So I've not actually listened to this album yet. I was hoping to get around to it today because I do like Municipal Waste.
Yeah.
I think I'm probably going to put it on the way to work tomorrow.
Yeah, it's really good.
Have you seen them live?
I haven't. No.
They're really fun.
They are a lot of fun. Although I do remember they were standing there and they dedicated a song to Cliff Burton.
Yeah.
This song is called Beware Black Ice.
That's dark.
Oh shit!
What was the other songs?
Is it Satan's Trampoline?
No, that was Lawnmower Death.
Oh, yeah.
Satan's Trampoline. I forgot about that.
It's just really good fun. I think there's. I'm not sure this. There's a song, something Violators. But anyway, it's got this commentary over the back of it, and you've got like police sirens coming in, and then you've got this kind of like, we've got a suspect over here, like that whole kind of police like intercom thing going on, and it's so cheesy, but it just reminds me of like the late 90s and skate videos and just fucking wanting to get drunk and all that. It's weird how it makes me feel nostalgia, even though this is the first album that I've listened to from them.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I do want to go
They're
back.
great fun.
Yeah.
They're good. Yeah, they're good.
But I did, in my head, I thought they were from the 80s, but they're not. They're actually quite a relatively new band.
Yeah, they are. I mean,
Like a throwback band.
Yeah, they're not old.
no, I mean
By
we
any
saw
stretch.
them back in 2008,
Yeah.
and they hadn't been around Well, at least I haven't heard much from them.
Yeah, but that's
before
what I
then.
like about it. It doesn't sound like it is from the 80s. It sounds modern and modern fresh. But
Good.
Musically, I'd say it does though. That's the thing. But production-wise,
yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Cool. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give that list on the way to work.
That is fine. A little bit on Me and That Man.
what's his name?
That's Man.
Rob Smith's Man is only known as Man.
No, it's the singer from
Beer Moth, isn't
yeah.
it?
We spoke about it a little while ago, and I didn't like the sound of his voice. I said it sounded like a foghorn in the distance. And this is a country album, by the way. Just to let you know.
It's
Yeah.
a really doomy country album,
Yes.
though. It's not what you would expect from country.
Yeah, I can't remember when it came out. It came out.
Beginning of this year, towards the beginning of this year.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, I say beginning. We're only halfway through
yeah,
now.
well,
So.
very interested to it. Yeah, I listened to this when it was raining. It was dark, and like his voice completely worked with it.
Yeah, it is a really dark album. There's no two ways about it. It's not something that you could really casually just sit and listen to, because it is
No.
really quite depressing in places.
Yeah.
And some of the lyrics are really dark, really dark. It's quite a miserable album.
Yeah, a bit bleak.
It is bleak, but it's really good.
Yeah.
It is really
I am
good.
curious. We were talking about this band.
I
When they
need
were
to
first.
listen to these.
Yeah, we talked about it a while ago, didn't we?
Mm.
And this became a bit of a joke that we had on the podcast about Me and That Man, so much so that our group chat is still called Me and That Man.
Yeah, it is.
Forgot about that. Yeah.
But yeah, it was surprisingly good. His voice really worked with that gloomy sound that they got. As for a country album,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how easy you guys will find to get into it, because you're not really fans of country, whereas me and Rob are. So it's just
Ooh.
to us, it's just country with like sort of metal overtones.
There is an update on Dez's country.
Oh, is
album.
there?
Yeah. Just that it's going to be heavy as all hell. And he's got over 25 guest appearances on it.
That doesn't surprise me. I mean, you've
Randy Blythe's one, didn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was on the Johnny Cash track where they actually got invited to Cash Studios.
yeah,
to
that
record
was on.
And he's now signed the mantelpiece as well, Des. So he's like, what an honour, you know? It's like,
I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be really good.
As soon as they release a track from it, I'm just gonna play it to death.
We hope.
It'll be good. I'm not even worried about it. It'll be good. Like with
Right.
the talent they've got on that album.
yeah, he's really excited about it. It was on the download highlights he was talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's really pumped, so...
Good. That's
Yeah.
always encouraging.
Yeah, the new Devil Driver guitarist is on it. The one with dreads.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
Ah, cool.
yeah, he's on it. Mostly.
Mostly.
Yeah.
So
Right.
looking forward to it.
Just while we're on the topic of country.
Yeah. What's the name of the album? The Me and That.
Oh,
Me
yeah,
and That
sorry,
Man.
yeah, Me and That Man.
I think it might. Is it just called Me and That Man?
I think so. Is it our Castle of Black?
Hmm? Oh, sorry.
That's all right. We got Upon a Burning Body on
All right, then we'll move
Whiskey
on.
loves it.
In this moment,
Songs of Love and Death.
yes.
There we go. Right.
In this moment, I have a new single out called Roots. This is another band that's gone from their metalcore earlier days to going into electro heavy guitar sort of tones, like the same like Bring the Horizon sort of way. It's still catchy with like heavy guitar parts, but it doesn't have like any of the punch that the last album that came out at the same time, Sempiternal, Blood, doesn't have that sort of punch. But
That was a really good album.
yeah, it was really good. Yeah, if they keep going the direction like that single does, then they're gonna end up with an album like Bring the Horizon album
Oh no.
and lose that.
I mean, 'cause they are
lose that
really-
heaviness.
They're a really heavy band.
They were.
And she's got a fantastic voice.
Which has been overdubbed by a lot of electro,
Uh,
like synths and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
oh no, I don't like it.
It might be okay.
Might be.
Yeah, that was a quick one. Queens of the Stone Age.
Yes.
New track.
The Way You Used to Do. Did you guys know this was produced by Mark Ronson?
Who?
Mark Ronson.
No, I didn't know that.
No?
Nope.
So I heard about that.
I mean, Josh Home,
yeah.
he's a producer himself, isn't he? He's done Arctic Monkeys and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. He's sort of like.
So would he not just self-produce?
Well, I guess you'd think so. I mean, they've got quite a lot of records out.
And Mark Ronson's like a fucking huge name,
Yeah.
isn't he? So
Well, obviously going back to the early stuff, he's a great producer. But like most recently, thinking of like Uptown, Fuck You Up, what was it called?
oh yeah, with
Yeah.
Bruno Mars.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm just thinking. My impression was this is gonna sound crisp, huge, over
Right.
the top.
And how was it?
Surprisingly stripped back in terms of the music. Like it was a really twangy, raw guitar tone that's just got this like swing to it the whole way
It's
through.
like really bluesy.
Yeah. But it does sound big. In fact, the one of the gripes that I had with it was the bass in the production was like, maybe this comes from I guess current pop and hip hop music, the popularity of like those heavy like booming basses that just
Yeah.
like sit to the background.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the bass on the track, if you listen to it on headphones, it's a bit overbearing. But the song is just really like finger clicky,
Oh, okay.
just toe tappy,
Well, yeah,
It's,
upbeat.
it's just kind of good fun. And he's singing in his falsetto. It's quite inoffensive.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what the album's gonna be like because I've not really cared for them in a long while.
Yeah.
Really, I think they've got a lot of good tracks in the last few albums, but not
they're
since.
a solid enough band.
Yeah,
But since the Kerrang days,
Yeah.
I don't really hear much from them.
yeah, but they are fucking massive though. I mean, they
Yeah.
did headline Reading a few years ago.
Yeah.
You know, well, it was like a joint co-headline with Paramore, but still, that's a pretty big deal. They're that big, you know.
Was it him that was in Them Crooked Vultures?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I forgot about them.
Yeah, because obviously the link with Dave Grohl and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were
I just
alright.
remember.
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah. I remember James. I was chatting to James from Def Urbana last time I saw him, and this was just before they played Reading with them, and
Okay.
they were on like fourth on the main stage.
Wow.
And he's obviously he's like a big fan of them, and he was saying like, "Oh, it's so good to meet you," and like he obviously gets to meet a lot of famous people that he's playing with and stuff
Yeah.
and whatnot. And he had a bowl of soup. And managed to spill it over Josh Homme's wife.
Oh,
So it was
dear.
just like a bit of I don't know how that was salvaged, but that was a sort of like bad for a musician friendship to bloom, I guess. I just found that quite funny. Because he's a big fucking bloke, isn't he? So I'll be like, oh, I'm so sorry.
His wife being Brody from the Distillers.
Is it?
Brody Dahl, yeah.
I'm not too.
Or it was at one point.
Right, okay.
Yeah. There you go.
Full of facts.
Bit of gossip there. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
Bit of knowledge there for you.
Yeah.
Change coming from you.
Full of grey matter, mate.
I sort of hogged that one. Did you have anything to?
No, like I did really find it really bluesy, and I'll probably check out the album because
Yeah.
I would say like I haven't really looked into him for a long time.
Yeah.
Um,
They had
Yeah.
one single for their last record that I really, really liked. I can't remember the name of it, but it was their lead single, and then I never actually heard the whole album. But it was pretty cool. Oh my God, it's the sun or whatever it is.
I've never listened to a whole album of theirs.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The one with No One Knows, whatever that red album.
Oh.
It is a fucking great album.
Fuck. What
Yeah.
was that
First to
called?
give a
Songs to the Deaf.
Yeah. Brilliant album.
Yeah, really good.
yeah.
Right. Cool. Go check it out. It's out now. I'm not sure when the album's coming, but we'll probably, I guess, get back to it when it does.
Is that it for new listens then?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
the fact we didn't spend too long on Nickelback.
I feel like it. Yeah, I feel like it's been a mostly positive one this week.
Yeah.
There's still time for that to change. I mean, we've got Doom coming up. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we will talk about heavy metal's place at mainstream festivals. Coming off the back of Napalm Death.
Yeah,
being at
it
Glastonbury.
might be worth pointing out that this sort of has stemmed from how the reverse of that being download and how accepting their crowd is, or that crowd is, of non-metal at
Yeah.
download. So it's more like, well, how well metal travels to other festivals.
Yeah, I mean,
Because obviously it's known that any non-metal acts at download just get
Yeah, they get
infinite shit.
Yeah, there's always like a massive uproar about it. If I know the years who've been going to download when non-metal acts have been announced, even bands that are metal and people have considered not metal enough to play the festival.
Yeah.
They get slated as well. It's like, so if you're doing that to other metal bands, how's it going to be when someone is brought in from the outside? Look how Lethal Bizzle went down.
Yeah.
Now that he managed to win the crowd over, but to begin with, that was a fucking disaster.
That was carnage.
It was absolute
There was
carnage.
so much rice pudding.
Yeah.
I feel like those days are over. Like the metal fans, for the most part, seem to be a whole lot more respectful. Like
Yeah.
I think they are now.
You know, I remember when I first went, there was just bottles everywhere.
Yeah.
Like bottle fights.
You never
And
see any bottle fights.
we
Only
spoke
bottle
about the
fights
preview
now.
saying, oh, how are Creeper going to go down? How are someone like, you know, Pierce the Veil going to go down? And there's just nothing but respect from everybody. So I feel like those days are kind of, you know,
Yeah,
wearing
I
off
think
a
you're
little
right.
bit.
I
Yeah.
for one am glad.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing worse than standing and watching a band and getting a bottle full of piss smack you in the side of the head.
You vote with your feet at a festival.
You
The best thing you
absolutely
can do is not turn up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, if Bizzle played to an empty crowd, I'm sure that would have been a lot more effective
and
than.
then pelting it with rice pudding.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, look at who we had to download this year. We had what's his name? Machine Gun.
Machine Gun
Kelly.
Kelly. Yeah.
You didn't hear massive things saying there was going to be a big protest against that and stuff.
No.
Apparently it went down quite well. He
Yeah.
had a full band there and stuff. I didn't realise that Machine Gun. I mean, I talked my shit a few weeks ago on it, but I didn't realise that Machine Gun Kelly is not just a rapper. He brands it as a band. We are Machine Gun Kelly, not I am.
Ah, okay.
And he had drummer and guitarist, a bassist, and it looks like it had its heavy moments as well. Well, maybe he was trying to cater for that audience. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then I also said, why didn't we have like something like Run the Jewels would go down incredibly at download. They ended up playing Glastonbury this weekend, and like Glastonbury, I kind of consider to be not to look down on it or be snobby about it, but it seems that metal and alternative and like the more heavier side of things is kind of like a bit frowned upon there. Like they like a lot of the beige stuff, the kind of
Well, it's-
radio friendly. But they had Run the Jewels there, which was introduced by Jeremy Corbyn, which
Right.
was a political thing in
Yeah.
itself that ended up being like a massive triumph on the main stage.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, that's great.
Yeah, he pulled, like Jeremy Corbyn apparently pulled, what was it, one of the biggest crowds in 1974 when the Rolling Stones
Yeah,
played,
yeah.
like, which is mental.
Yeah.
It's
It
fucking-
is absolutely insane
for a non-music act
Yeah.
to pull.
for the crowd that big.
Yeah.
It is
Insane.
insane.
I did see some interview. They're like, "Well, are you going to join Run the Jewels and spit some bars?" And he had a pretty witty response as always. But yeah, that's powerful, man. Apparently, the whole oh Jeremy Corbyn thing was going all weekend, and it looked like he got pretty emotional, like on stage. I mean, that is the biggest festival in the country, isn't it? I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is,
Yeah.
yeah.
Big fucking crowd.
I mean, I think you're right there with what you're saying about like metal being there. It is a very diverse festival. You do get a lot of different music genres there, but metal doesn't really seem to get represented there as much.
No.
But in this year they had the Earache stage, didn't they? Which it was just metal bands on there. I mean, I don't know what sort of size stage it was. I don't know what sort of crowds they had because quite honestly I didn't bother looking.
They had Napalm Death on there, Dead Kennedys, Horror, and a few others.
Hacktivist played, didn't they?
Oh, did they?
Really?
So
Sure,
pretty
I read somewhere.
confrontational music,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I mean, the crowd typically over the years, I think what Glastonbury has attracted is your, well, I suppose traditionally you'd say more of the hippie type, if you
Yeah.
like, more eco-conscious
Yeah.
type people, left wing, that kind of crowd. It was, I think, set up originally like a Woodstock, maybe like
Yeah.
a protest.
I think that's
type
what it's rooted in,
kind-
isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely rooted in that kind of thing.
I would say to
Like the Greens and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
an extent I would say that's changed in recent years because it's so expensive. You tend to get
Well, it's commercialised it now, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know how to say this without being a twat, to be honest.
Right.
You tend to get rich kids there now who
Right.
want to play at being at a festival.
Yeah, see, this is
Yeah.
this is the thing. This is the impression that I get, and it's that sort of push and pull between the genuine music fans and the sort of snobs. Like, apparently on the Earache stage, there was a sign at the top left. They had a massive "Don't be a dick" sign there, and then on the other side it says, "If you don't like the music, fuck off." And that's on the Earache stage, which
Excellent.
is which I thought was
Yeah.
brilliant. And then I want to mention, obviously, when Metallica headlined in 2014.
That was a point
like-
of contention.
That was
wasn't
a
it?
fucking huge deal.
Hetfield got a lot of shit.
Yeah, I mean, there was all of these bloody just snobby articles in the Guardian or whatever, just saying like, "Oh, do they deserve it?" It's like, this is one of the biggest bands on the planet. for
Oh,
fuck's
so
sake.
for you that was the point of contention, like.
Well, it was
not for you, but that's
see-
what you read, like.
seeing all of the kind of like, this is their moment. Are they going to be able to do it? Are they going to prove it? It's like this
right.
is they have proved themselves.
They're
enough.
Metallica.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
And
the
it was
size of them, the status of them is not.
Yeah, and this whole hippie thing that you were talking about, it's like I have respect for that attitude, but apparently a lot of these headlines, Metallica ended up putting on a Glastallica t-shirt, which said it just turned all these like sneery comments into slogans, and they had one that said that they aren't in the spirit of peace loving, and just shit like that, like on the back of the t-shirt,
Right.
which is just making a mockery of all of that snobbery, essentially.
Yeah.
So
Like their intro as well.
Yeah.
Instead of having the ecstasy of gold, they made
Yeah.
a new video for it, hadn't they? About
Right.
fox hunting.
Well, this is the thing, because Hetfield's a big hunter.
Yeah.
That was what I read about the point of contention of why they were playing, because they attract that sort of eco anti-hunting
Yeah.
kind of crowd who.
so it's more political then.
Hetfield is
He's an avid
very
hunter.
open
Like
about.
he's a very passionate hunter.
Yeah.
Like lives, off the land type.
Yeah, I've
kind
heard
of,
about that. Yeah.
like into his bow hunting and stuff. So for him to be stood up on stage, playing in front of all these people who are supposedly against all that, was from the festival goers saw it as the festival organisers saying like a big fuck you to the diehard festival, or the Glastonbury crowd.
Yeah.
Am I right
Saying
in
like you
thinking-
shouldn't put Metallica on this stage because that's a guy that's completely against our beliefs.
Right.
So
This might explain why, because I remember watching it being such a huge deal, like watching it on my TV at the time and looking on my Twitter, seeing all the commentary. It was a massive deal, and Hetfield had this speech in between one of the songs, and he was like, raise your hand if you live your life with dignity and you mean no harm. I can't remember what it was, but he basically started talking to the crowd just about being a good spirited person, which is sort of odd because Metallica usually just come out and go, yeah, ooh, Metallica's here, baby, and then he's just like, we're with you. That's the usual shit you get from
Yeah.
Hetfield. You don't really
are you
get-
out there?
yeah, just the kind of cliche Hetfield lines. You
Yeah.
don't get him talking about anything with depth. So that might have
Yeah.
been why he was doing it, I guess. But
Yeah, maybe he felt like he had to justify his position there.
Am I right in
Like-
thinking that the video that they put out at the beginning about fox hunting, it was like a very tongue-in-cheek thing from what I remember. It actually ended up with this. I mean, the fox was just, I think it was one of them in a fox costume, and it ended up with them shooting the hunters. It was really bizarre. It was all very tongue-in-cheek, and they just
Okay.
turned it all round.
Yeah, that's all you can do is, win them over with laughter in the end, if the crowd aren't on side. For anyone that's a bit more interested, a bit more in depth about that issue, Hetfield opens up a lot on it on Joe Rogan's podcast.
yeah,
He goes into it deep, and he talks about Glastonbury as well on there, a lot about the criticism and shit and flack that he was getting pre Glastonbury, saying like all the hate mail and all the shit. So yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Well, this year, from what I was seeing, looking at the highlights, seems like 2017's version of this was Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes
Okay.
on the. I'm not sure what the stage was called. It wasn't the other stage. You've got the main stage, the other stage, and then you've got
Yeah,
another
the
stage
the
with
pyramid.
tent, yeah.
Yeah.
Pyramid stage is the main one, and then
Is that the main one? It looks tiny.
no, it's a big fucking stage.
Oh,
To be
okay.
fair, it's just because there's so many people there.
Right, yeah.
But that performance, watching it, I mean, I saw Frank out. I talked about a few months back at the
I'm
North
envious, man. I'd love to see Frank.
That was like a fucking moment. And some of the things, like the energy of that performance, the way everyone was getting into it, and his banter with the crowd, and he was like getting everyone to do like a circle pit. He's like, right, I've waited 10 years to play this festival. You know, as such a like hardcore punk from back in the days, we thought this would never ever happen.
Yeah.
I mean, he tries to get a circle pit to go like out of the tent, around the sound desk all the way back in, and he's like, right, I saw half of you lot fucking run out, but you didn't fucking run back in, did you? I presume you're trying to get a nice spot for the Killers later on. It's very charming, but it's like raw, and it's like some of the stuff he says about the election, and then
Okay, so he gets quite.
yeah, it felt like a
Political.
real moment. And the end of it, especially, they end up trashing all their gear on stage. I actually thought, watching that, I was like, I could see them being potential headliners of a big festival, which I never
Really?
thought about before. But after seeing that, I was like, actually, there's something going on here. It's like, it's pretty powerful. And it's great to see that kind of reception at Glastonbury, because I sort of almost expect the way to be like a lot of. You see the camera cuts the face in the crowd, and there are people there that are there because
Are they a bit like shocked?
what's the spectacle here? Like, what's
right,
the fuss? sort of
Right,
thing.
right.
Because they're not.
So to us, it's so normal, but
Yeah.
to someone that's like at a peace and love festival, essentially.
Yeah. And then
Right,
you get
yeah.
the coverage of, you'll get like a Lauren Laverne or like a fucking, what's his name, like Grimmy, like in a denim jacket, like I'm a rocker now, man. With,
Right,
like your fucking
right.
horns up. Like this is the world of metal, and they're like doing like a piece on it as if it's this weird like zoo creature.
Right. Yeah.
Just get Attenborough in.
Yeah. When the circle opens up. Wait, that was more Lloyd Grossman. When the mosh pit opens up.
Who lives in a pit like this?
Front to back, side to side. Let's burn this motherfucker down.
What are you even doing at this point?
But yeah,
You should definitely start a Lloyd Grossman themed
podcast.
no, metal band.
Yeah.
Through the key.
The Ned Flanders.
Through the keyhole.
So I've
What is this?
Okay, so that took a slightly different turn to what I expected.
Right. Yeah.
So how do we feel about metal's placement at festival? Is it becoming more acceptable? Is it?
To be honest, the crowd size for Napalm Death on the pictures looked fucking huge. So, but then what is Glastonbury, like 120,000 people? So to get, you'd expect even what Napalm Death had. That's a very, very small percentage, but still a fucking huge crowd, if that makes sense. So it's like I suppose like a numbers thing. You're guaranteed to get out of 120,000 people at least what 3,000-4,000. Like, so actually,
which is a
it's not.
decent-sized crowd.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, exactly.
Realistically, I've never really seen people have too much of an issue with metal bands playing at mainstream festivals. I mean, there was the whole thing with Metallica, but I think that was more the fact they were headlining than anything else.
Yeah.
It wasn't people had an issue with them playing as such.
Right.
And they still pulled a fucking huge crowd.
Yeah.
I don't feel well versed enough to know what an acceptable headliner is. I mean, it seems to be always controversy. Like, do you remember when Kanye West headlined it? Was
Yeah.
it, the year afterwards? And there were protests to stop it. And it was a bit of a fucking. I remember Dave Grohl coming out and it being like he was saying this could either be a complete train wreck or a massive triumph. And everyone had an opinion about it.
Yeah.
It was a triumph.
Well,
Or,
for Foo Fighters. Oh, about Kanye.
Kanye,
I
yeah.
think it was a train wreck.
yeah, it was a bit of
actually.
both by the looks of it.
Right.
Yeah. Huh?
Well, there's the whole Bohemian Rhapsody thing.
Oh,
about
yeah.
Stone, wasn't it?
Oh.
Like,
Yeah, there was definitely like a middle point of him playing all of his sort of B-sides and no one knowing what he was doing,
Right.
and
he was fucking around like quite a lot.
it was very, very self-indulgent. But that's
Yeah.
kind of that's what you don't expect at a run-of-the-mill show.
You just expect him to do his own thing, and you either like it or
Yeah.
you just stand there and enjoy it anyway because you've got no fucking choice.
You're going to get the hits eventually, but and then like Foo Fighters this year, there was even opinions going about that. Like
That's what I was saying. The Triumph.
Yeah.
Like, apparently, it was one of the best Foo Fighters shows ever.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I watched. Have you watched any of the footage of it?
No.
It's on like the /Glastonbury BBC iPlayer or whatever. But I was like, okay, I like the Foo Fighters a lot. I think they're one of the best rock bands we have in the planet.
Yeah.
I genuinely do. But I can never take a whole set of it. I put it on, and I was just start to finish. I was like, this is fucking awesome. Like, just hit after hit after hit.
Yeah.
You said about them headlining Download, didn't we?
It needs to happen.
I honestly
surely.
think that
and I'll be
that
there.
should happen. I saw an article not long after we were talking about that actually. I can't remember what site it was on, but they were talking about potential headliners for Download Festival.
Right.
And I think they had named 10, and every band that we had called was on that list.
Really?
Even Shikari.
Shikari, Parkway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Bring
I
me.
still feel like they've both got
Bring
ways to
me,
go,
yeah.
but
Yeah, I mean, in time, you know, like, it'll happen.
Yeah, well, it will. Yeah, of course it will.
You couldn't imagine Biffy Clyro even 5 years ago.
No way. And like staying on topic, we were looking at the lineups for Reading and Leeds, and Reading and Leeds have always had a history with like the heavier side of music. But again, it's still quite diverse in what they play, and now especially I would say it's a lot lighter than it used to be. But metal, punk, anything like that is still very much accepted there. Like not just on a certain stage, but across all
Yeah,
stages.
I think pre-download, as in pre-2003, Reading Leeds
It was a lot heavier.
was the big one for heavy music, and then download sort of captured that market, and I suppose Reading Leeds had to adapt to that, and still sort of flirt with heavy music
Yeah.
a bit, but it's more your indie, more V Festival now.
yeah.
Than
Yeah.
it's like V Festival with heavy music
It's-
scattered around.
Yeah, it's funny how festivals
Kind of.
change. Like, because I definitely became more of a Reading person a few years back. I went in 2010 I think it was.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw, who do I see there?
Who do we have for 2010? Guns N' Roses were there.
Yeah, well, I was only there for the one day, and I saw, might have been the year after, I saw Blink headline. I also
Yeah.
saw Paramore. I saw Limp Bizkit.
Newfound Glory were there.
Yeah, I saw Weezer. I saw Minus the Bear, who are a bit more niche and underground.
Yeah.
Cypress Hill.
Yeah.
I've never seen so many joints be raised so quickly.
Yeah.
And fucking opening
Was it Architects?
No, it was
No.
Thrice, who are like I'd
Yeah.
just seen them at the Electric Ballroom a few days before,
Okay.
and that was such a great day of live
Yeah,
music.
that sounds good.
Yeah.
Reading Leeds does cut it, seems like right down the middle. Where it's
Yeah.
like very Fall Out Boy would be a typical band.
Yeah, yeah.
Paramore,
Yeah.
like Kerrang, I suppose. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you've seen the likes of Noel Gallagher and the High Flying Birds and
Yeah.
Arctic Monkeys.
So then you've also had Slayer.
You had Slayer,
It's funny because
Yeah,
like the,
Kill Switch.
It's a
and
good
stuff.
mix.
yeah, like the difference between like I hate putting people in boxes, but like a stereotypical indie person and a metal person, it's quite different. So to have someone there that's watching, I don't know, God.
Kings of Leon, maybe.
Yeah,
Something
like
that.
well, they're more of a headliner, but something like Two Door Cinema Club or something
Right.
like that. To then have like Bring Me the Horizon come on next, and you see a lot of the kind of the people that aren't in the metal world kind of looking at a mosh pit, going, oh, like looking a bit terrified, and it's that contrast that I find quite odd, but also fascinating.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, they do change. Like even you mentioned V Fest, like back in the day, like in the early '90s, it was like a
It was like a rave. Was
Well,
a
yeah,
rave
it was
festival?
always quite drug induced.
Yeah, yeah.
It had Oasis and Blur and stuff like that, and
Oh, okay.
Stereophonics and
Right,
like Brit rock. And now it's like I went to V Fest last year. That might surprise you guys.
Yeah, a little bit.
And I watched Justin Bieber and I watched Rihanna the following day. And as a fan, I went with a bunch of mates more for the party element than the music, but I ended up having a really great time.
Yeah.
But the difference in the atmosphere of like a couple of rock bands that played to then the pop music was just so odd to see, Justin Bieber come out and literally mime in front of like 80,000 people.
Yeah.
was like, even though I don't know what I was expecting, I wasn't expecting like a really truly talented performance, but it was like pretty disgusting to see it in person, to just go, your hand is over here with your microphone, and I can hear the studio version blowing through the speakers. Like,
Yeah, not cool.
That's awful.
We've been down this road.
yeah.
Just-
So let's just hope that our other beloved festivals don't go down that road.
Just out of interest, you've been to all these different types of festivals.
And heavy as well. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is hardcore kid fanatic.
Which festival do you think has the best atmosphere?
Have a guess.
I'm hoping it's Download.
It is.
Excellent.
I'd say Reading's not far off though. Reading's really great.
So what do you think makes the atmosphere? I mean, like, because obviously everyone that's at these festivals, they're all passionate about the music that they're going to see, regardless of the type of music.
I don't.
Is it just the rock and metal families a bit unique?
Do you know? I want to say it's like the people and the attitude, because like looking at Download and how it was this year, I mentioned last week stranger cuddles and people just wanting to speak to each other. It doesn't matter who you are. There's just that approachability of everyone,
right.
even though the music's heavy. But it was still kind of like that at V Festival. Like everyone says, "Oh, the campsite's dangerous," but no, everyone's speaking to each other. Everyone's still partying and having a great time. It was still a festival atmosphere. But I don't know. I think it's just the. I think metal, heavy music, has just got much more of a hardcore fan base.
So more camaraderie, maybe.
Yeah, like
you
it's.
say about the people about being passionate about going to see their music. Maybe not so much with like the pop side of it. Maybe they're not going just for because they love pop music.
There were people there like, I know this. It's like, yeah, I know this. Bastille were playing, and I thought they were really fucking good. But
Right.
everyone's like, oh, I know these songs from the radio, and everyone's like having a good time. But it's not like the screams and the hardcore passion that you see in a crowd at like a heavy rock gig.
Yeah,
It's so much more, and it's good to go to different kind of shows. Like I've not been to anywhere near enough hip hop shows as I'd like to have. But
I'd like to go to some different festivals
yeah,
to get that comparison. To say, okay, well, actually,
yeah.
Download is a special place.
That was more of a last year, more of a off the whim sort of. You know, with someone that I was dating and her group of friends,
Yeah.
like, do you want to come? I'm like, okay, sure, let's do it. Let's party. And that was that sort of, not like, fuck yeah, I can't wait for this festival
Right.
sort of situation. And I think everyone in our group was the same. You know, like the second day we didn't go into the arena until like halfway through the day and I missed Rick Astley. I miss Rick Astley and I'm fucking pissed about it still. I'll never get that opportunity again.
Probably not. Ship sailed.
You know. Okay, yeah, that's quite interesting. I mean, that's just something that I was interested in, really. I'm just going off topic a little bit there.
Yeah, we did. I can't really see a thrash band, Suffocate playing V Festival or
Sure.
Funny.
But then Glastonbury, right, I think is all encompassing of all music. Like it's a world music festival, right? Like, so metal just happens to be one bit of that entire piece.
I'd say Reading and Leeds probably the most diverse.
Yeah, for sure. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you had like Glastonbury has all that like Jamaican music with steel drums.
I'm
talking
from around the world.
like literal world.
You've
They
got
had
everything.
Rodriguez play one year. didn't they?
Rodriguez.
Shame he was
played.
off his tits.
He was fucked.
Yeah, if you look at the Glastonbury
But-
list, it's like a fucking dissertation. It's
Yeah, it is,
insane.
It literally has a bit of everything in
Yeah.
there. Like,
Didn't they have wasn't it like 10 stages or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you're on that smaller stage, we applied to, because like a couple of friends we know got on there like years ago. They played like the smaller stage. Like, I don't fucking bother. Like, who's gonna go? I'm gonna go see that.
you're
Really zooming in 0.5 times New Roman at the bottom there.
You need a magnifying glass.
Yeah.
And you're probably like way off like sight. I mean, the
Yeah.
Glastonbury site is fucking huge.
You're down the pub somewhere.
So like, it's probably like a 2-mile trek to just go see like a 20-minute set.
Thing is, you say that, but there are probably people there at every stage from various different labels around the world. Because if you're playing a festival like Glastonbury, it doesn't matter how far down the bill you are,
Yeah.
you're playing Glastonbury.
Yeah.
and someone's going to take notice, even if you've only got like a 20-minute set.
Yeah, and out of 120,000 people, like I said earlier, still going to get 100, 200 out of that. Like, because it's a numbers game, right? Like,
It is.
You're always going to have a percentage of the crowd turn up.
Is Glastonbury only 120,000 people?
Only.
Only.
Well, no, it's just because...
We think downloads 80, right?
No, downloads 100. Downloads
No
100,000.
Nah.
Yeah.
Well, on average, they reckon it's 80. On like a normal year,
They-
you can get like there have been years at
They
download
reckon
where it's gone
that
up
there's
to
about
100.
100,000 people there this year, and seeing that crowd for Aerosmith,
Yeah. I think sellout is just over 100,000 at download.
it's just in
Like
my mind,
capacity.
Glastonbury always seems much bigger than that. Obviously, I've never been, so
I mean, that's twice the size of King's Lynn. Like, so it's
Bigger than Festival 2.
pretty fucking huge.
Just to sort of round this one off, how do you guys feel about the future of festivals like Glastonbury with heavy metal and rock? Do
Well-
you see it carrying on the way like we've got this year of the Earache stage?
Oh, hopefully. Well, the way that Glastonbury goes, that they're going to add another stage, and it's going to be full of metal bands.
all the articles
Like a
I've
sort of
seen,
slam dunk stage or something. Yeah.
all the articles I've seen about this stage at Glastonbury, like on all the news sites, everything like that, they've all said that having this stage at at Glastonbury was the most refreshing thing about the festival, and it's beat that stale festival feeling.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. I think like just in terms of even the mainstream as well, like seeing Stormzy on there and BBK like doing like Feeding to the Lions and shit like that, and seeing Stormzy get up on stage and talk about Grenfell Fire and
Right.
being, really running his mouth.
Was it Kate?
Oh, what's her name? Yeah, her political
KT,
speech was phenomenal. Yeah,
Katie?
Kate Hopkins. No, not Kate Hopkins.
Hopkins.
I forgot her name, but I know who you're on about. Yeah. And it seems like even though you're thinking, right, this is BBC like daytime programming, you're expecting it to be a little bit watered down for
Like
the casuals.
maybe
but-
censored. Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this year, from what I saw of it, it just felt anything but. So
Yeah.
that's,
They've all got something to say.
yeah.
Like, there's so many issues.
Yeah,
to
we can
talk
return
about,
to our politics and metal again at some point.
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
have
Yeah,
to.
we'll see how the state of the world goes.
Yeah, if we make it to the next episode, anyway. Okay. Right then.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement really there that metal does have a place in the wider festival scene.
and if it doesn't, it will probably be. So.
Yeah, I think metal festivals should be a little bit more accepting of other acts that are there.
I think it's
Which I think that is the way it's going.
I think it'll surprise people how fucking popular metal is actually.
It also might be a reflection on where we're at in 2017 with heavy music as well. It can't be a coincidence in my head that I've suddenly just got back into this. I really,
Although I think maybe there's a resurgence.
yeah, it feels that way. Yeah.
I don't know as well because, like you, over the last 3 years, I've been way out of touch.
Yeah.
And just stuck with the bands that I know.
Mm.
And it's only this year, really, I've got back on track and have sort of my finger on the pulse a bit more of what's going on. But it seems to have coincided with this resurgence almost.
Yeah, maybe it's the same for you. You've been out of it for so long, and now you've come back to it, and you've actually there is some really good stuff out there that I've been
Yeah.
missing.
It seems to be that there's stuff that I'm missing, and there's also I've chose a good time to get back into it because this year has been fucking phenomenal.
Yeah,
It
we
really
chose
has.
a good year to do the podcast. I
Yeah.
think.
So much going on, so much good stuff.
Right. Well, speaking of good stuff, let's get into some shit stuff.
Whoa!
Because I don't think anyone had too much fun with.
I had loads of fun.
Alright, okay. Doom
Doom.
was our
metal.
pick.
Yeah.
How do we feel about Doom?
I actually don't hate Doom.
The video game's great. I want to just pick that.
I struggled with this
Yeah.
a lot.
I struggled with this.
This has
as well.
been the hardest game.
I think for me, it was trying to find something that I enjoyed enough to put in a
For
30-second
me, it's just
clip
trying to find something that I
to
enjoy.
say to you guys, right, listen to this. And in the end, like, I was panicking. I was on the way here, and I was just like, fuck. I was like, 30 seconds there.
Sorry, My dog ate my homework.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing. I was like, shit, I can't turn up with nothing. I mean, even Fisher had picked something.
I found this hard.
I think for me it's because I wanted to try and find a Doom band that were quite underground and weren't as well known. I mean, I know none of us really listen to Doom,
Yeah,
but
mate, you can't be fussy.
no, apparently not. But I didn't want to come and sit down and be like, right, yeah, I've gone with My Dying Bride, because
Yeah,
anyone who might be listening that knows Doom is going to go, well, that's a really easy pick.
Yeah.
And they pick something a bit off the cuff that they might not know that's a bit more
You
interesting.
say that, but I couldn't really find much of that band that I enjoyed either. So.
I mean, you've got with Doom, you've got the likes of My Dying Bride, Cathedral, Candlemass.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I didn't want to go for one of them if I could help it. I thought I was going to have to. I didn't.
I did have to ask for help though, to be fair.
Was this Andy?
Yeah, thanks to Shifty Eyes Andy, I
I should have asked you for help, Andy. I'm sorry.
I asked him, could you point me in the direction of Doom metal band, please?
Did you get an essay?
I got like 30 odd bands.
There was a huge list.
So
that got sent through.
yeah, I had a
Who is this guy?
Pub
Oh
guy.
yeah, he's a guy we know from the pub.
Oh, right.
He's a pub guy.
That just makes it
Really
sound like
likes
a random pub man.
He really likes his
Andy
Doom
is a
metal.
friend of ours.
Right, okay.
Okay, yeah, that was the list. Sorry, one sec.
There's like 30 odd bands on there.
Ah.
You could have probably went on. But
Shit the
I,
bed. That's alright. Well, actually, mine's on there, so that's alright.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to look for my pick.
Yeah, the Doom stuff kind of reminded me of a few American Headshots tracks. So,
Yeah.
which I like.
Did you find like a lot of the bass tone was just really heavy, slow? Heavy,
Everything's so
nice.
down tuned.
Yeah.
And
Drop Z.
Like there was some tracks that just sound like a rumble.
Yeah, there was a lot. I mean, within Doom, you've got like thrash Doom, epic Doom, like soundtrack.
sorry, thrash Doom.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. Like there's all of these sub Doom categories.
I asked for some fast Doom. They're like,
Yeah,
if it's fast, it's not Doom.
yeah, but one of them was drone Doom as well, which makes perfect sense because it kind of orders drone based. So,
So I've not really looked into Doom too much.
yeah. Sorry, Doom fans.
Sorry.
Out of
Yeah.
touch, aren't we?
School us if you please.
Come on, Andy.
Check out Iron Man. Not Sabbath, you moron. Fucking
They're
band.
quite doomy though.
Well,
Yeah.
Sabbath definitely
Oh,
inspired
yeah.
a lot of this.
Yeah.
Most
Yeah.
Right, seeing as you enjoyed yourself, Rob, you
so
go
I'm gonna
first.
Alright, so my band I picked is called Goat Snake. And it's a
Great
track called Elevated Man. And I picked this one because it's got a real like sun feel to it. It's got like an accordion. In it.
What?
So, yeah, it's really cool. But, right, just listen.
Okay.
We let go with some soul. Elevated man.
What's up, guys?
I really enjoyed that.
I fucking loved it.
You've gone for something more like stoner doom rock. And if I knew that was on the table, there were some bands I listened to earlier. I was like, this is really cool. But I genuinely enjoyed
Yeah,
I liked it.
I just found myself wanting to listen to Down like big time, which
that. To be fair,
Yeah.
some of their stuff is quite.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fisher, you seem to.
That just cracked me up. The accordion. Couldn't take that
Harmonica.
seriously.
Oh, harmonica, yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
What are they called?
Goat Snake.
I'll be giving them a listen.
Yeah, formed in 1996. Black Age Blues is the album. If you want to listen.
Nice. Okay,
It
yeah.
was really good.
Cool.
I liked
Cool.
it.
Cool.
Oh, God.
Jesus.
Sorry guys, technical
Sorry.
difficulties.
Oh God.
Who's next?
Go on then, I'll give it a go.
Okay.
Right, I had a really hard time with this at first. I was looking for something a bit more contemporary because,
Contemporary doom.
yeah, a lot of the origins after the years of Black Sabbath, it's just so A lot of the stuff that I was listening to I then switched over to Mastodon and made it sound like One Direction in comparison. Like, it's that bleak that anything that I used to listen to is heavy doesn't sound heavy anymore. It's just so sludgy and like, I feel like the riffs as a guitarist, it's just like you're just fucking about, sort of falling asleep. But anyway, I found a band called Pallbearer, who I'd heard of earlier this year because they had an album come out.
Yeah, they're in Metal Hammer this month.
Yeah.
Actually, they're featured.
Well, I
Best
found
underground band of the Golden Gods.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes,
I keep hearing about them, but I hadn't ever checked them out. But I think one of the guys took the album for a review with the magazine I write for, so that's where I heard of them. Yeah, they're formed in 2008, and they're from Kansas. Is that the name of the place? Somewhere in America. They've got one EP, 3 full lengths. They are Brett Campbell, Devon Holt, Joseph Rowland, and Chuck Schaff. This song's called I Saw the End. I just thought that riff's pretty cool.
I like the vocals there.
Yeah, there's a pretty sweet
Like
vocal harmony, isn't there?
Yeah. But it's just that slow beat, like it's just so like.
Yeah, it's not for you.
It's
is it?
exhausting.
Just don't have like a tempo
Fucking
cap or
exhausting.
something. Like, if you're gonna go any faster than, I don't know, 100 BPM, you're a fucking thrash band to them. I don't know. That's what I find difficult about it. But yeah, I fairly enjoyed that. But gonna be completely honest, I probably won't be going back to it.
Yeah, I kind of echo those thoughts really, but I'll show you mine.
Okay.
Oh yeah, all right, easy. Fucking
One of those
Buy
kind
me
of
a
parties.
drink. One of those.
At least buy me a drink or something.
Well, put it away for Jesus.
Should it be that colour?
Oh, mate, you need to get that checked out. Right, what is it?
Glows in the dark.
Yeah. Right. Well, let's get back to this.
Yeah, back on track.
Reverend Bizarre is my pick.
The track is
We had
cool.
a track called Doom All Over the World.
Now I read that and I immediately thought Status Quo.
Doing all over the world.
Yeah, I struggled with Doom. I went through a lot of bands, and this was the one I hated the least, essentially. So yeah, as a whole, it was a challenge this week. Like it was difficult. For
It
me.
sounds like what I caught of the download highlights of last year. Like on their YouTube channel, they were just posting these clips of all of the second stage bands, and there was just all of these sludgy, like stoner rock, doomy, old bands, and with just like dull crowds.
Right.
And that was at the pinnacle of me going, "What the fuck has happened to Download Festival?" Before they quickly lifted my spirits this year, but yeah, I've
It's just
I don't know.
something like bomb, 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 bomb. It's just that, and that song was 6 minutes, and it had that same tempo. I was thinking,
Yeah.
That's probably the average song length is like 10 minutes. From
just
what I
need
found.
something with a bit more substance.
Yeah.
Really,
That's
that's just
fair.
me though. That's just me. So. Yeah.
Go on then, Lise. What'd you get?
I went with a band called Gallow God. I was hoping to find some stuff like on Spotify that was off of their only album called The Veneration of Serpents, because a lot of that is better than what is on their EP. And I ended up going with a track called, was it The Ship of Nails?
The Ship of Nails, yeah.
It's... I'll talk about it afterwards.
Okay, here it is. yeah, that kind of reminds me of Haley's Bar.
Yeah.
Pepper Keenan springs to mind there.
Yeah.
Like at the end of a sort of, I suppose, Down. What was his other? Crowbar.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that really fucking
I mean, they're
slow, heavy stuff. Pepper Keenan's like the pro at that, isn't it?
I mean, it is just very down tuned. It is very. I mean, I wouldn't even necessarily say it was heavy, just because to me it isn't heavy. But like, I was reading a lot of like the comments and stuff on their stuff. People were just like, wow, that's really crushing. Like, it isn't. it isn't at all. It's just.
I just get to see you saying that to someone like at a gig. It isn't.
Like, it isn't though. I mean, it wasn't even particularly heavy. It's just, as again with Fisher, it's what I hated the least out of the stuff that I could find. I mean, the stuff that I'd found on their actual album, some of it was better, some of it really not.
Have you ever seen? Sorry, finish.
No, you're all right.
I'll just say, have you ever seen a circle pit for a doom band?
I feel like scene from The Walking Dead.
Trying to like conjure up this image in my head of what going to like a gig of one of these bands is like. Can't be very exciting. Crushing.
Doom isn't something that I can really explore too much, just because I think it'd be alright if I found some bands that I liked. I think some of like the stuff bordering more on rock than metal, like Rob Smith's pick, that sort of stuff actually I quite enjoy. Listening to actual doom metal, it's more of an effort.
More of a chore. Yeah, this whole bit is exhausting, isn't it, really?
Do we know what we're picking next week?
No, let's sort it out after the podcast.
No, we'll sort it out.
Yeah. I don't want to make any rash decisions.
Yeah, they tend to be the worst ones.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, cool. That was doom metal. I really liked it.
Yeah, I really liked your pick.
Yeah.
I genuinely did.
Yeah, it was. I liked the harmonica. It was great. I might have to check that out. Right.
Not Doom all over the world, anyone?
And that as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Doom
I
all
might-
over the world.
Might give that
Doom.
one a miss.
Doomy all over the world. That's not what you just said.
Fisher's got himself a slogan. Luke Fisher, do me all over the world.
Fuck off.
Alright, we've got our title for this week.
Fuck's
Alright,
sake.
we'll go on to All Killer then.
Yeah, from you, isn't it, Rob Smith?
First of all, we're going to talk about the Dinder Escape Plan
Yeah.
Fireworks.
How did you get on board?
After a few listens, I really began to enjoy it.
Hey. So that's
I'm-
the case.
Yeah, because a couple of weeks ago we had Fall of Troy, and I couldn't get on with it. I couldn't really get my head around it. But the more I listened to this, the more I slowly adapted to
The madness.
Yeah, to what the hell's going on. The thing is, I still wouldn't know when to put it on. Like, what mood I would have to be in to put it on.
Right.
But yeah, it's like the first track, Fix Your Face, just comes out swinging.
Yeah.
Like, it's just ridiculous, isn't it?
It's mad.
Yeah. I still don't know how they do it live.
Yeah.
But,
I do wish I'd have gone to see some of their set at Download, but then at the same time knowing how much I enjoyed Slayer. A bit of a tough one. This album is a lot more structured than I expected it to be. Turns out I already knew the track Black Bubblegum.
Hey.
Yeah.
Massive fucking chorus in that song.
Black
I
Bubblegum's
don't know where I'd heard it, but
Right.
I've obviously heard it more than once because it came on. I was like, "Fuck no, I know this."
Yeah, like the verses are just so groovy and the fucking.
I think that's
that
the
vibe.
first actual song that you come across. When
Yeah,
I say
like-
actual, I mean with
Accessible
structure.
song,
Yeah.
I thought the first track was really fucking good. Like the first time I put it on, I was just like, "Yeah, no, I
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like the little pockets within all of the madness where you just get into a real fucking
Yeah.
headbangy groove, and it's like,
Lurch has got one.
yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
I really liked Horse Hunter.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
the
that
one
was
with Brent Hines on it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not sure if I spoke about that track. Yeah, but that's mental.
It is mental, but just hearing his voice in it as well, it just really works.
I don't think I didn't mention that. Yeah, it's quite surprising. How did you get on with Milk Blizzard?
I really liked it. It just confuses me.
It's my favourite on the album.
Yeah.
It's just those horns are so
Yeah,
obnoxious.
It's so cheeky. Aren't
They
they?
don't belong there, but they really were.
Yeah,
It's
They
like,
don't belong
it's like
there.
who the fuck do you think you are putting horns in there? But at the same time, it's like awesome.
Yeah. Did
Really-
you remember
really
any of the
cool.
little points that I made out about like the chromatic like pianos and the verses
Yeah.
of that song and stuff? Like,
Yeah.
just sound well out of key, but
Yes,
completely
it
work.
does.
Right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They sound creepy, don't they?
Yeah.
Like it shouldn't fit,
Yeah.
but
I really
Right.
enjoyed it. I wouldn't necessarily say for me it was an all killer, but that's because I've only listened to it a couple of times. Whereas you've listened to it however many times over the years, it's an album that you enjoy, and quite rightly so.
Yeah.
I think if I'd have heard it when it first came out, and I'd listened to it over the years, yeah, maybe. I mean, it, just for me personally, I don't think I could have it as an all killer, but
Yeah.
I genuinely enjoyed this
But
album.
it's satisfying for me to say like this is one of the cases where I've gone, hey, this is what I thought they were. Turns out they're so much more than that.
yeah,
And for you
absolutely.
all to have gone back and listened to it and come back and said, you know, this is the same for me. You know?
I mean, considering I'd seen them before without knowing any of their stuff,
Yeah.
and I could still stand there and go, this is fucking mad,
Yeah.
and just enjoy their performance for what it was, and then go back and listen to them and actually enjoy it. Yeah, I was really pleasantly surprised.
Cool.
I think it's an album I will be listening to again.
yeah, for sure. My fear was it was going to be the same as Fall of Troy.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
Bibbly
fuck,
bibbly.
this is going to be too much to absorb again. But that a lot more accessible and a lot more diverse than what I ever imagined. I thought it was just going to be 40 minutes or so of just really stabby,
Yeah.
Yeah,
aggressive, like kind of sharp, just not nice stuff. But there's some groove in there, some lighter stuff. There was some weird. I don't know. I've just noticed the
all
track
the
listing.
synth.
The synth in the middle.
It's
They've got-
heavy.
when acting as
trace is
a
there?
acting as a particle,
Yeah.
and then when acting as a wave, which is quite cool,
Yeah.
quite clever. But yeah, I thought went a little bit odd in the middle, but yeah, Party
All
Smasher.
of their,
Party Smasher was fucking
Yeah.
really cool as well. Like yeah, gems, real gems in there amongst all of the insanity,
Oh, I'm glad. Yeah, I'm really glad to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
that-
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
and that pinch is like
82588. Yeah.
it's not like a standalone. Like it is, but it flows into like the next. Like it really just
Yeah.
bridges the two riffs together. Like
That breakdown. It's like it's a Dillinger breakdown. It's not a traditional breakdown, but like it's so fucking heavy. And when that hits you, that like, for me, it's because, as I said to you, because there's just one of them in there.
yeah.
I've still not heard a nastier sounding pinch hammer than that. It's just so evil. Cool. Yeah. What would you think of the last track as well, with the fucking horns and the on all the strings and stuff? Did you get to the end of it? With the mountain-sized guitar.
Yeah.
riff?
I can't remember that one. Was that on Mouth of Ghosts?
Yeah.
That is nearly 7 minutes.
Yeah.
I need to go through it again. But,
Yeah.
But,
Well, I'm
but
glad,
like,
glad to.
But definitely positive. It was definitely
Yeah. I will say
a
that
good thing.
the album before Miss Machine with Sunshine the Werewolf that's a track you need to hear, but all of the albums since then are just as diverse as well and mental. So and there are like about 5 songs that I could easily go to on each of those records that you'd enjoy for the same reasons that are worth
Okay.
checking out. And the rest of it might be a bit like a bit nuts.
Definitely have to give them a proper listen.
Yeah. They're like the ones that you'd see them play live.
Not
Some like huge choruses and stuff.
just
so,
not anymore.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But maybe we're a bit late.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my way of sending it off. There you go. You've
Yeah.
got 3 new fans, don't you?
Bit late.
Yeah. All right then, what we got?
All right, yeah, I got some awesome metalcore for you from 2006.
Ooh, can I guess?
I feel this is
I'm just going
a
with end of heartache.
No, I'm gonna go with All That
2006.
Remains.
no. I feel they're fairly underrated, maybe just a bit lost in time.
Oh, look at him. He's teasing us. He's talking about it.
Especially this album, which is Unearth's In the Eyes of Fire.
Oh, nice. Giles.
I've
Yeah.
never heard a full album by them.
Dude.
Never.
This is the one.
That's
but
the one,
it's
man.
all your
This
ball
is
killers
the
that I'm like, I've never heard a full album.
This is the one to listen to. I
Three in
came
the
ac-
Eyes of Fire.
I came across this band accidentally, which I'll get onto later. First track is The Glorious Nightmare, which is punchy straight off and really sets you up for the whole album, if you can remember it. Then goes into Giles, yeah.
Oh, mate, what song?
Awesome thrashy riffs, with the lead guitar doing exactly that, being lead guitar all the way through. Not
Sweet,
heavy,
like sweet picking.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like the guitars on this like are wicked all the way through.
Yeah, and you've got those bits where it just the guitars will ring and then it just does that bass drum,
Yeah.
like, and then just drops into
Yeah.
all fucking awesome breakdowns all over the place.
Yeah, Giles, awesome thrashy riffs. Not a really heavy breakdown, but really makes you move. Then you have March of the Mutes, very Iron Maiden sort of intro, into like really chuggy sections with another catchy vocal section. It gets really stuck in your head, I think.
Yeah,
And it comes out of nowhere. Like, oh, shit, it's really good.
the harmonies as well, like
Yeah.
that very classic Iron Maiden,
Yeah.
like
Like back and forth
yeah,
guitars, stuff like that. And then probably one of the best tracks on there, Sanctity of Brothers.
which they opened with on the main stage of Download. They had 11 o'clock, like huge fucking
Yeah, I
I
circle
think I've
pit.
heard that one.
You must have. I found Unearth by looking up Sanctity, and I found
Really?
Sanctity of Brothers.
Huh.
And so I downloaded that, and yeah, got onto Unearth. And that
So
track's probably
I
one of
could
the best
never
ones.
get into them back in the day just because it was something I really didn't enjoy at the time. Anything that sounded like that, I was just like, no,
Yeah,
no.
probably like.
I think
I'd
you'll be
say
surprised.
I
think if I went back and listened to it now-
of metalcore, when the metalcore was getting like, really big, really good, and all these bands were pairing off, and they kind of just like
They blended in
Yeah.
with your God forbid Shadows Fall,
Yeah.
like
and
you
like
say,
they
'cause there was
like a step back where I don't think they should have. But their later albums, I can't remember.
where you had the March.
The March, yeah, that
which was
very
really good.
Yeah,
After
that one,
that, you had the latest one is Watchers of Rule,
yeah,
which is
yeah. They kind of like slipped downhill from
there's
the
not
March.
that much rememberable stuff on Watchers of Rule. Like it's really clever,
Yeah,
but it's very full on. Like they don't have so many breakdowns and
yeah,
riffy sections. It's all just very like fast and in your face,
yeah.
and it just all just hits you, and you're like, well, I don't even know where to start picking this apart, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, what was it? Sanctity of Brothers, yeah, that was like, the best track on the album, I think.
yeah.
I need to remember what song it is of theirs that I really fucking loved. I think it might have been on this album.
Might have been Imposter's Kingdom,
Maybe.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What's track, which it is.
but yeah.
Yeah, The Devil Has Risen is the next track.
Was that like a slower? No.
It's really thrashy, but it's got lots of breakdowns in it. So like really thrashy riff into a small little breakdown, another really thrashy riff into a breakdown.
Yeah. But they're definitely not generic at all. Like,
No.
Very unpredictable.
Yeah.
Neat little riffs that come out of nowhere. These little
Yeah.
triplet sections with double bass behind it. Like,
Yeah,
it's all,
that's why I was shocked that I kind of did blend in and kind of had to step back. I feel when I started listening to all that, but then this time was mine. Again, some awesome like lead guitar work on there. The whole album is very riff based. Like the guitars are what you hear the most over everything, completely over everything. Then a track called Unstoppable, which is very Bullet from a Valentine, the Poison sort of
Yeah.
sounding. and it's got like this weird clean section in it, which keeps that track fresh. Because by listening to like the tracks before, the 6 tracks, you kind of know what's coming.
Yeah.
And then you go into on Shuffle when it's got
Yeah, it does. Does have a clean section.
yeah, and it kind of breaks it up, and then it goes back into, and then you know what you're getting into again. And then it is So It Goes, kind of a single long track. I think it was a single. I think that was a single.
Yeah,
I
quite
remember.
possibly.
Very like air guitar sort of massive solo in it, like a super solo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Impossible.
This is
Imposter's
a
Kingdom.
fucking huge
Heaviest track on the
track,
whole
man.
album.
It's that
It's
where he's screaming Imposter's Kingdom, and he's got that simple beat behind with that pull-off riff.
yeah.
It's
That's
just
it.
like,
Yeah,
it's
it's
fucking awesome.
on the metalcore album. This is a pure metal track.
Yeah.
Heaviest track. on
Heavy
that.
as fuck. Yeah.
And then Bled Dry, which then sums up the whole album with the whole fiddly guitars
Yeah.
and awesome drums, breakdowns, and that track sums up metalcore 2006.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Big Bear in the Hour of Chaos is just this mad, weird 3 minutes of like.
It's just an instrumental, but it could have been a really good track if they put in vocals.
Yeah, I don't know what they were really doing.
I don't
It
know,
was just
but
like-
it is really good.
It's really slow and I don't know, it builds up really weird and a lot of nice guitar work in there.
Yeah.
But it's just like
Yeah, it's probably just maybe not showing off what they can do, because they can do a lot more, as you can see on the other tracks. But
it seemed like they were just being a bit silly by that
yeah,
point.
just fucking around. There you go. There's another track. But yeah, that is the.
I'm glad you picked this because I fucking love this album. I'm a huge Unearth fan, always have been. Yeah, I probably would have picked this myself eventually. To be fair,
We're running out of albums now.
Like I said, I was never a fan of them at the time, and even now I've never listened to one of their albums.
You'll
I
dig this
couldn't
album.
even pick a song, to be honest. But I think going back, listening to them now,
yeah.
I'd probably be pleasantly surprised.
I think you
I'm
would.
excited for you to be discovering this.
Now,
You know what I mean,
at
now
this time, like 10
because
years
I'm
later,
quite
11 years
quite
later.
envious because I feel like you might be on the edge.
So how we were feeling about Danny listening to the last kind words?
Yeah. I think you'll love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the only criticism of Unearth, I've always said this, is vocally.
Too much of the same thing?
Yeah, it is samey, but it's just maybe a tad on the weak side. Like he hasn't got any sort of.
Hasn't got the lows.
yeah,
he, like Tim Lambesis.
Yeah, like a Tim Lambesis or a Randy. Like there's no. It feels like he's straining a lot of the time. You know, like he's got that.
Yeah.
I think I heard some stuff about. It might have actually just been you saying this a while ago on the podcast, saying that the band sort of evolved and he sort of just stayed the same over the
Yeah,
across the records.
and because I think on one of our earlier episodes we discussed
Yeah, that was it,
our
yeah.
most underrated bands, and I always said Unearth because the musicianship is fucking phenomenal with them, like really good songwriters, insane musicianship in terms of their playing ability. But yeah, the vocals I always felt didn't progress with Unearth, like
Yeah.
as a band. Like they got better, but he did kind of stay like at a similar level. Maybe held them back. Possibly. Possibly.
Yeah, but this album was at their top, I think.
Yeah, this is definitely their
Yeah, that other album, The March, that was the tracks on there with My Will Be Done. Yeah, and We Are Anonymous.
Ah, that's a good song.
Yeah, that's
I'm looking forward to this.
Yep,
Yeah.
ready to go on my journey home.
Yeah,
So it's just me and you that haven't heard it before then?
Yep.
I
believe
think
you haven't
you'll.
heard it.
I think you'll really enjoy
I
it.
was never interested.
Every time I've brought Unearth up, you're like, nah.
Yeah.
Not.
And you've known me for what, 12 years?
Yeah.
I'm surprised to hear that actually. I would have thought they were like a street league.
They were well in like that crop of like basically new wave of American heavy metal. I think had they have come along maybe a bit later, they would have more of a chance of getting big, because there was so much music at that time. You had your Lambert's, Chimaira's, Killswitch.
See, I don't know why I never got into them, because all those other bands that were around at the time, I really liked.
Yeah, well, Unearth were in there, like Adam D. I think he produced.
Didn't he do the?
It was either the March
Yeah.
or this one. I can't
Yeah.
remember which.
Oh, yeah, you
Like
done that.
they're all like best buds. They're from Boston, Massachusetts as well as Killswitch. So like, you know, they're all mates. And they're definitely all around at the same time, playing shows together way back in the day, filling in for each other and things like that. So
Okay.
yeah, if you're a fan of Killswitch and God forbid and stuff like that, there's no reason why you wouldn't love Unearth. So
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Cool.
Thank you very much, Rob Smith.
Yeah, it's
You
your
will
turn,
enjoy
isn't
it.
it?
Well, mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got a couple I can pick from.
Right. Don't be Opeth again, please.
Right, yeah, I've got nothing to pick from.
The next Opeth album.
Yeah. No, I've got some good stuff for you, don't you worry.
okay, awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, is that it?
That seems to
I
be
think
it.
sweet. All right, so we have been the Breakdown Culture Podcast. We are not professional, if you haven't noticed.
Yeah, we're alright.
We're not sponsored or anything like that. This is an all non-profit, so we're free to say whatever the fuck we want.
And you're free to say whatever the fuck you want to.
You're free to say whatever the fuck you want. It's going to be. We're going to be on Instagram. Well, we are on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We'll be on Facebook in a matter of days. SoundCloud, and our YouTube channel as well. So we have all different things on there.
Mm. And if you listen to the Infinite Metal series that we did, when we did 16 episodes, they'll still be on the channel as well.
Yes,
if you
they
want to
will.
go back and listen to us be amateur.
Yeah. If you want to listen to us be really amateur, listen
Go
to the
for the
first
first-
5 or so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
the
was-
first one where we ended up drunk as shit by the end of it.
God,
Yeah.
yeah, it was hammered. On the phone.
Yeah, on the phone. Oh yeah, this whole podcast basically came around where we were just sitting around drinking beer and talking about metal.
So now it's a thing where we sit around a table and drink beer and chat about metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, except with a microphone.
So yeah, I hope everyone enjoys it. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, look, we're all trying to just be ourselves and do our thing and give our honest opinions. Right?
If you enjoy it, just continue to enjoy it, like it, share it, tell your friends. If you don't like it,
School us
share
on
it,
something.
tell your friends.
Yeah.
yeah,
Just give us some feedback, give us something else to talk about.
yeah. Follow, like, ding our bells, whatever.
Wait, what?
You'll get it. You'll get
Right.
it one day.
Okay. Oh, there's no contract here.
Awesome. Right. Cool.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you
Yeah,
guys.
Thank you
See
very
ya.
much. See ya.